This is the Bilal Bakani Hour on Canada Talks Sirius XM 167. Joined now by Dave Stevens from the Disability Channel. He is a field reporter who is on location at the Super Bowl. Dave, great to see you again.
Hey, it's great to be here and spend a little time with you on this crazy busy week.
Look, we've done this year after year, so I'm going to get right into it. The Chiefs are 15-2. They're facing off of the Eagles, who are 14-3 on the season. This should be a damn close matchup, Dave.
Yeah, it's awesome just because the football purists, you have a chance for a team to three-peat for the first time in NFL history, which I would like as a sports fan, just because I worked at ESPN for 20 years and all we talked about were the Patriots. The Patriots this, the Patriots that, Tom Brady, blah, blah, blah. It would not have them completely out of the discussion, but people would then have to respect the Chiefs. And again, I like things that have never happened before. But on the other side of that, my son is an Eagles fan. So he wants the Eagles to win. And again, it would be nice to see that organization finally come away, not empty-handed with a trophy. So, I think we're going to get a good game. I hope we have good Super Bowl commercials. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, let's talk about the commercials because I had a different experience this year, Dave. Somebody sent me a teaser spot for the Nerds Gummy Clusters spot featuring Shabuzi, which is really, really cool. And what I love about this game, Dave, is I can watch it with my wife, and she can ask me a dozen questions about football, the same questions every year, but she knows what's happening with the spots. So she is often telling me, oh, well, like this candy's really good, or this brand is really good. And whatever expertise I have in football, Dave, it's only good for like a Sword and Persian broadcast, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. But the problem now with social media and the internet is they leak these commercials out. So half the commercials you've already seen, and it's no surprise to see a Taylor Swift in an M&M's ad or something that's crazy, So I wish they'd kind of go back to the secretiveness of it, because that's what made it fun. You could say, hey, we have a great, car commercial with Donald Trump in it or something silly, but, let us have that mystique of what it used to be for the Super Bowl.
Dave, this is probably the hardest question I'll ever ask you, but as a Canadian, we don't get all the ads. Have you figured out, short of doing something illegal, how to crack this code? Is it good to use an over-the-air antenna? Is it good to just go to the American channels through a Canadian cable provider? Is that enough? Or do you just kind of have to search out the great spots after through some sort of show or just going online?
Well, if the FCC is watching, there are many pirate ways to watch, because my son has the links to those websites. So we did not maybe pay for the red zone and all those channels, but they're out there. The league knows they're out there, and they don't seem to police them as much. So if you Google, just throw Google in and say, hey, free Super Bowl coverage, it's there. You might also want to, YouTube TV is another outlet that you download, and you get the American version of it. But I think Canada should step up and throw a good commercial in and say, hey,
Yeah.
we don't want to be your state,
Yeah. Well, I guess the opportunity is out there for Canadian advertisers and broadcasters to put out really, really great spots. We're chatting with Dave Stevens from the Disability Channel. He's a field reporter. He's on location at the Super Bowl right as I'm speaking and during the game. And, if you're listening after, I'm sorry, but he was there. All right, let's talk about the Buffalo Bills. I have to say this, Dave, as someone who feels like they're my team, and I'm in that kind of Mississauga area, the GTA area. A lot of us feel like that's our team. And just selfishly, I think a lot of us wish they had been in this game. So let's just what could have been.
I'm in the same boat as a Vikings fan. I mean, the Bills are 0-4, the Vikings are 0-4, even though I'm supporting them in my purple today. But I would have liked to have seen the Bills there, just because, again, not having legs, being in a wheelchair, being disabled, you pull for those underdogs. And no matter what, they're going to be an underdog because they continue to lose to Patrick Mahomes in the AFC title game. And it's going to be a curse if they don't get it. But I don't see this Kansas City Chiefs team changing much. In fact, they'll probably get better. They did have a lot of weaknesses in certain areas, but again, with number 15, Mahomes, he finds a way to do it either behind his back or over his head. And the double teaming of Kelsey helps that offense more, that they can hopefully run the ball, or he can scramble. His ankle is healed. So you're probably going to see him run a lot more in this offense coming up. But I think, to your point, I think we're in for a great game, and it's going to be fun. And I'm really excited. Kendrick Lamar is halftime. So it's going to be a wonderful day.
Let's talk about the X factor. Taylor Swift. How many times do you think over under going to show her on camera during this game?
That's going to be a good question because some people say they've shown too much and they have kind of scaled back in certain games, but also this is the Super Bowl. And again, you have a much more diverse million worldwide audience. So I think they have to give them what they want. And it's too bad that they, again, we talk about those secrets that they can't sneak her onto stage at halftime and do something with Kendrick or something like that, or have her sing the national anthem or have her do the something. And I'm kind of shocked that she hasn't, because again, it helps her brand. And the league really has grown because of her. At first, I think they were a little apprehensive, but you brought so many non-football fans into it. Jersey sales skyrocketed, people trying to understand the game that didn't before. So as much as they hate it, all publicity is good publicity.
Let's talk about these two teams. Big differences in terms of the running game, in terms of the prevalence of the defense. I wrote all this down, Dave, but I've lost it all to try to make my notes more efficient. But two very different teams in terms of skill sets, and you'll see different offenses and different defenses. And I think it'll be quite striking to watch, even the run game versus the pass game, for example.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the over under is and what it ends up being with all those bets, just because, Eagles have a great defense. The Chiefs have a great defense, and it's going to come down to defense. I really think so. Can they stop Mahomes? Can they stop Kelsey? But the real question is, can anybody stop Saquon Barkley? I mean, that guy just continues to run over the best defenses in the league. We thought the Redskins, the Commanders were going to be able to hold him in check, and no, I mean, first play of the game, boom, he busts one for a touchdown. So if those guys in the secondary don't have their shoes tied up, they're going to be running all day chasing him.
Dave Stevens is a field reporter for the Disability Channel, and he's on location at the Super Bowl. Dave, I just love talking football with you, and I've eaten up 3/4 of the segment here. But let's talk about your work, how people can follow you, some of the people you're talking to. Over to you.
Yeah, we're here with the Gary Stein and Stevens show. Troy here is my co-host. He's just getting set up here. We have guests that are just going to start. We have amazing guests all day long. We had them yesterday. We have Marcus Allen today. I've been told we're getting Emmitt Smith tomorrow. It's been a who's who of future and past. We have Miles Killebrew coming in at 11 o'clock. He's the current Pittsburgh Steelers captain. And so you never know. I mean, we've had people just walk up and go, hey, we want to sit down. We know who you are. And the challenges of being in a wheelchair at these events is immense because they're not built for me. Opening night was a challenge. Getting around here in Radio Row with all the chairs and all the equipment, it is a challenge, but the league loves us. They gave us a great spot up here, and people, I say I have a face that people remember, but obviously it's no legs in a wheelchair that they remember, because I have people coming up to me, hugging me, Dave, hey, and I'm like, hey, but I just got done catching up with Kurt Warner. We talked a little bit. He's played in some games that I've been a part of. We talked about Arizona and where he lives and where I'm from, and once you get to know these guys, it's a big Super Bowl family. And like I said, this is my 29th Super Bowl. So I continue to see my ex-ESPN friends like Kenny Mayne, and we had Chris Myers on. So there's so much going on. We can't put everybody on that wants to be on, but thanks to the Disability Channel and Jay Stoyan and the initiative that they're doing up there, we have this outlet that no one else has.
Last one for you here, and we've got a minute. Can you, at this point in your career, expand this, right? Because thinking the NBA All-Star Weekend is coming up. There's the NHL All-Star Weekend. And look, they might pick a host city you don't want to go to. I understand, Dave. I don't want you on the hook for that if you're, down in Arizona and it's no fun. Is that something you would look at doing in the future? Because I think this is so great. And the NFL is always going to be the leader in North American sports, but I would love, like, if you're into those sports, to see you in those scenarios.
Oh, we're in them, and we've been. We were at the baseball All-Star game. Troy Geary, continues to travel to college football bowl games or all those things. He's going to be heading out to the draft in Green Bay. So we break up what we do, and again, we are a nonprofit, so we're not making money, and we're not have this travel budget. Most of these things come out of our pocket, and we do have a couple of wonderful sponsors like Pi and Serendipity and all these people that have helped us to get here. But we're on our own dime, just like the Disability Channel, and if we can't raise funds, we can't always be there. But to your point, the leagues love us. I think they love the diversity, but as I said, once you get to these stadiums, there's not a lot of access trying to get into locker rooms and climb over pads, and especially getting to the field in baseball stadiums. They just don't think there are disabled people in the media. So hopefully they start to see that, and the engineers in the future that are building these stadiums kind of, keep all that stuff in mind. And I hope someday, thanks to the Disability Channel, there becomes another Dave Stevens that can go out there and inspire and teach empathy instead of sympathy, because I don't want people to feel sorry for me. It's better to eliminate the problem than to fix it. And I always kind of have that in the back of my mind. So you pick and choose your battles, but I'm still living the dream.
Dave Stevens, he's from the Disability Channel. He is a field reporter, and once again, he's on location at the Super Bowl. Dave, it's such a pleasure to talk to you. Tell people about what you do for a tiny bit, and then just talk to you about football, because it's a great time of the year. And even if you're not a football fan, you're going to watch some of it. So me and Dave got you set up a little bit, hopefully. Thank you as always for your time.
Yeah, no, and they should follow Gary Stein and Stevens on all social media platforms. And if you want to see my crazy zany stuff, just follow Dave Stevens Speaks on LinkedIn and YouTube and Instagram, and I guess not MySpace. I don't even know if that exists anymore. But being the only guy without legs to ever play college football, and I tried out for the Dallas Cowboys and played minor league baseball. My story isn't known because I didn't do this during the internet years. But you can always go to YouTube and see my old fat butt running around the, tackling and sacking and doing all those things again. That I'm so blessed that I had those opportunities, and to be that ambassador, and to be almost like a legless Jackie Robinson or legless Deion Sanders, because I played multiple sports, and I'm not, in any way comparing myself with Jackie Robinson did, but as a disabled athlete, I was there before there was adaptive sports. And then we had other heroes like Jim Abbott come along, and Shaquem Griffin, who played with one hand. So sports doesn't discriminate if you're a fan. And I think that's why the disabled world doesn't get enough credit, because we are the biggest minority in the world, but we have the smallest voice. And thanks to the Disability Channel, that voice does get to be heard stateside and in Canada.
Thank you again, Dave.
All right. Take care and have a great week.
You're listening to the Blabakani Hour on Canada Talks, Sirius XM 167. Before we go, we have an update from the founder of the Disability Channel, my friend Jay Stoyan. It's always great to see you, but you got a lot going, Jay. So what's happening with you and your team? I'm always I love hearing about all the stuff you guys do.
Hi, Blah. Well, I'm back in Toronto now. I'm at our new studio, actually. We're just designing our new studio, but thank you so much for having us on and letting us showcase awareness, kindness, and opportunity. So I just want to update everybody. We had a fabulous fundraiser February 2nd out in British Columbia at White Rock, Legion 8. We reached our goal. We're so excited as now we can start to implement our employment program for veterans in BC. So we are expanding. This was our first fundraiser out of the province. So it's kind of exciting. I do have to mention some people, it's all about the Invictus game. So he's put a big spotlight on the veterans, our heroes. Now we're going back again for the Invictus game from February 8th to the 16th. We're also down at the Super Bowl with our trusty reporter and champion Dave Stevens. So we're down in Louisiana. We're going to be showcasing abilities and our programs down in the United States. But getting back to BC, so it was a sold-out crowd, veterans, families, supporters of veterans. We had a wonderful lineup of musicians, courtesy of Big Records. I'm just going to name a few of the musicians because they're so kind and generous with their time. From Shailene and Brian and Fraser and Tim, Special Agent Sunshine, Brandy, Yulia, Tara. Tara was great, by the way, Bilal. She was wonderful. She's such a great person. She provided us with so many comms. I want to thank all of our sponsors out there. Of course, you guys, Sirius XM, but it's all about education, opportunities for our heroes. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be starting a new cohort in the fall or in the spring, because we just started one actually today. So we're going to be starting another one in the spring, and we're going to be implementing hopefully two White Rock Legion veterans to take the course. And then what we're doing now is we're going to be doing 2 or 3 features on veterans that live in BC that participated in the games. So we're going to focus on their life, their family life, their service, and the games, and what it brings to the table for each individual, mixing in the games, the teamwork, the service, veterans. So it's very exciting. Big shout out to the Veterans House. We had a lot of donations, so I want to thank you guys. Ask me some questions. Oh,
You know what I was thinking about, Jay? There's a billboard out by the GO station where I'm at, and I saw the ad, and you'll forgive me for mentioning one other company, the Special Olympics donut, the promotion they're doing with Tim Hortons, which is a great thing they do. But on the same billboard, I've seen an ad for the Invictus Games. And it just got me thinking, Jay, you're growing at such an exponential rate going across the country. At some point, the Disability Channel is going to have their own billboards, and you're just going to be too famous to do this with me. So I just wanted to take a moment and appreciate the time we spent together because you're on a path to massive success. And I can see exactly where that path goes because, years ago I was doing interviews with the Special Olympics people, and they're too famous and successful to even talk to me anymore. And that's the best thing that could happen in my books because it means, I've done my job in a sense, promoting them and helping them get to the next level, which they would have got to anyways. But it's just nice.
Well, thank you so much for saying those kind words. I want to give a big shout out to Hive Music because this was live streamed around the world,
Wow.
which was really good. And it was so cool that we had one of our sponsors step up and pay for the live stream. So it was originally going to be a charge to watch the live stream, but before we went live to camera, one of our sponsors said, no, no, no. Everybody should see this. So I'm going to, cut a check for you guys and you can show it for free. So everybody around the world. So I really want to thank Barry and Hive Music and Mark Rosner and Big Records. Those are my two in conjunction with partners. They actually really did it all because I came from Toronto. So, I just sort of I was almost like a member of the audience or whatever you want to call it. So it was a really great, and I'm just going to propel. We're on to our next one. We're going to be doing one in Montreal in September, and then we're going to be doing one in Illinois in July. So we're going around the horn. It's really exciting. We had an auction there. We sold off some goods. Godin Guitar donated a guitar that went for over $600. So Sweet from Richie Honori, he donated. So it was really good. I want to give a big shout out to the Ontario government as I'm going to be sitting down with Mr. Doug Ford, the premier, on February 20th. We're going to be talking everything but tariffs.
Yeah. Look,
Yeah.
we've talked about this. He's a very busy guy with an election on the horizon. And the fact that, you've always been a priority of his, but to be a priority at arguably the most important time of his career,
I can't believe it.
It
I
says
can't
everything.
believe it. Like we're going to be sitting down. It's going to be a very interesting interview. He's been so supportive of our channel. Like you said, I know he's got his hands full. Oh my goodness.
Can't
So
even imagine.
kind of exciting times, for our community. I want to give a big shout out to Chris Vossi. Chris is the president at Legion 8. He was amazing. So there's so many things to, so many people to think, obviously the fans, the people that turned up. It was a sold out show. So can't ask for anything more.
Jay, you're the founder of the Disability Channel. You're doing so much that I can just grab you for 5 minutes, and we already ran out of time to talk about everything. We're already over the time. Is there anything else you want to throw in that you may have missed before we go, or even just a nice word?
Not really. I just want to thank everybody for supporting the channel. It's been not a struggle. It's been a journey. It's been a journey, and the journey's getting better and better each day. As long as we can provide opportunities to people, right? Whether you're disabled, a veteran, able-bodied, it's wonderful what we do. We try to help people. We try to keep it positive, right? There's so much, crazy stuff going on in the world right now that we just want to focus on helping people. That's all.
Incredibly well said. Thank you again, Jay.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
That's it for the Bilal Makani Hour. You can follow me on Twitter at BilalV87.